We are so excited about this special episode of the Redeemed Marriage Podcast. We have been waiting on this for literally months, and we are so excited to tell you all about our rebrand that we have been rolling out. And so we want you to stay tuned so you can hear the story behind the rebrand. Hey everybody, hello folks. We are so excited, and we have literally been waiting on this day, this week, this moment, whatever you want to call it, for a very, very long time. This is going to be a little bit different episode, maybe not quite as heavy on the marriage tips and the advice that we normally give, but we really want you to stay tuned and listen to this episode because we think that it's going to really give you some insight going forward, really kind of the idea behind this new rebrand, but also just some exciting resources and things that we're going to be rolling out over the next few weeks and months, and we don't want you to miss any of it. So we're just gonna tell you guys all about the rebrand and why it happened. So in order to do that, we got to back up a little bit. First of all, I would say that this whole process, which was a pretty incredible process, but this started really in November, because in November we went on a retreat, just the two of us. And we took some time to dream about the future of our marriage ministry. And in that dreaming, we knew that we just needed some things to be fresh. And not only fresh, we needed a new look in some ways, because when we started this thing, it was like clip arting things together.
And I did it.
Yeah.
And I'm a teacher, so I have access to little things, and it looked very teachery.
Yeah. Well, hey, we did the best we could. And the great thing is that God honored it.
That's right.
And it's pretty incredible to see kind of where we are now. But we wanted to sort of let you guys in on the behind the scenes a little bit. So coming out of that, we had lots of ideas and plans that still are being worked on. Some are in motion, all that kind of stuff. But a big, big part of it was we just wanted to eliminate some confusion in some ways. Eliminate confusion, make things a little more streamlined, just get it with the times, basically. So we had somebody that actually blessed us with the ability to be able to bring in a for real branding company. Now,
also known as a professional company.
Yes. So
not just for real.
Yeah, they're very, very professional and incredible. So, we did. We started this process with them in like January, kind of the end of January, because they had something really big going on early in January, and so we were kind of next up for them, and it started this process that I've never been a part of anything like it. There were about 3 or 4 different people that were kind of on this team that were working with us. And as we started, they just kind of got to know us, which I thought was really cool. There was a questionnaire. We did a lot of stuff, but it was because they wanted our personalities. Yeah. They wanted to know what our vision, our goals, all of that. And so we had a couple of meetings like that. They took our questionnaire and they sort of put together, kind of keywords and things like healing and hope and, the things that they were just pulling from conversations with us, which I thought was really cool because it was, hey, when we talk, this is what other people hear. And so they came back to us with some. This is more than just logos. That's why we really wanted to kind of explain this, because it was, we definitely wanted a fresh look, and we got new pictures and all that kind of stuff that you're seeing starting to pop up in different places. But it was so much more than that. It's a part of a message.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to be able to explain that, because we don't want people to go, oh, well, that's a really cool logo. It's not about the logo, really. It's about a message, a brand. Right. You feel free to jump in anytime. I'm just kind of running with the process.
A great job. I'm just loving watching you because you're so excited about it.
You're
just grinning from ear to
So
ear.
cool. So they came back to us, and there were basically this was really cool. There were like 6 concepts that they came back, and within those concepts, there were actual logos that like rough draft of logos, and all the concepts were centered around, the things that our marriage ministry does and what it means to us and what it means to other people. And it was a no-brainer. Like, I'm so glad. The other stuff was really neat, but this one just stood out to us.
Right.
And so basically, if you've had a chance to see the new logo, it is the actual word is Stone Cairn. 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 All right, so
with our best Southern accent.
Hilarious. What's so funny about this is I had to look it up, and I was like, all right, I need to know how to pronounce this if this is going to be a part of our brand. And so, of course, what I do, go to Google, and I said, how do you pronounce Cairn? Y'all got to hear this. This is awesome. So listen to this.
Cairn.
Okay.
Cairn.
Hold on. Try it.
Cairn.
For you guys at home, try it. Cairn. All right, here we go. Try it again. Here, listen.
Cairn.
I listened to that probably 50 times. If somebody had seen me going,
Cairn.
hearing this and then going, Cairn, and then hearing it again, Cairn. Anyway.
Because I hear Karen.
Yeah. So now you're
Affectionately, we call it the Rocks.
So now you're like, what in the world is a Cairn? So we did our research, but when they told us, the concept was, so it's an old term. Stone Cairn is an old term, Scottish term. You don't need to know all the history, but it's basically where you see it most is in hiking and trails, and people will stack stones to show a direction and to give guidance. And that was what they pulled out of who we are. And I thought that was really, really good. That, so for you guys that are out there listening and taking in our content, like, that's the message that we want you to see of the Stone Cairn, is that you can look to us as a couple that can guide you, and can guide you if your marriage is already strong but you just want to be stronger, can guide you if you have a wounded marriage and you need some healing, and can guide you if you have a broken marriage and you need restoration. And so that's what we're all about. Now, the crazy thing about it is that when we saw it for the first time, that's not really what we thought of.
Nope.
Because it has a different meaning to us. So I'll let you tell the meaning that we both thought of as soon as we saw it.
Yeah. So I had literal tears running down my face when I was looking at this, because for us, and we didn't know until after we started talking to them, but for us, it's a symbol of the faithfulness of God. Now, let me explain that just a little bit. In Joshua 4, Joshua chapter 4, God makes a way for the Israelites to completely cross the Jordan River. So, this is with the Ark of the Covenant and that whole story. So, God makes a way. The waters part for all of the Israelites to walk through the Jordan River, across the Jordan River. And he tells Joshua to get 12 men, and of course that represents the 12 tribes, to each man to get one stone. And we're not talking about a pebble. We're talking about big old stones. And put it where they can build basically an altar or a remembrance, so that they can always remember the faithfulness of God. So, but my favorite part of that is Joshua says to the Israelites, in the future, when your descendants ask their parents, what do these stones mean? You tell them, Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground, for the Lord your God dried up the Jordan River before you until you had crossed over. He did this so that all the peoples of the earth might know that the hand of the Lord is powerful, and so that you might always fear the Lord your God. So it's basically saying, let's make a physical reminder for future generations, for your children and your children's children. And we talk so much about the trajectory of our marriage because of decisions we've made and because of what God did, as a reminder that he's faithful and he did not let us down. And so during COVID, at the very beginning of COVID, we had just a moment with our family where we talked, because it was scary at the very beginning. You know, everything was shutting down. Nobody, all these reports, there's tickers on the TV of people dying. And it was just really scary at the beginning. And our children were at an age where we just needed to sit down and talk to them. And I remember you talked about that story, and you talked about the faithfulness of God, and you said, let's go get stones. So we had rocks in our bed up front, and we got stones, and we each got one, and we talked about how God had been faithful to us in the past. And so you chose God healed our marriage, and we wrote that on one of the rocks. And then I chose that God had healed me from breast cancer, and we added that stone. And then our oldest son wrote that God had healed him from a massive knee injury, and that he was still able to pursue his dream of soccer, and put that on there. And then we put that we left a stone blank and said that one day we would get to write on there that he brought us through this as well. And we took a picture of it. And so we are totally going to show that on social media this week. Yeah. And so, and that was 3 years ago, 3 years ago when we had that discussion. And so those have sat in our home, and it's just a physical reminder, a visual reminder of the faithfulness of God. And so when we saw that, I was like, yeah, we guide, and it guides, and all of that. But, how powerful it is to look at it as a remembrance of the faithfulness of God. And not only he was faithful, but he will continue to be faithful. It's what we draw from all the time in talking with other couples about the faithfulness of God. It's what gives us the hope.
Yeah, that's good, because I actually went and did some more research just on, as soon as all this, we were discovering this as part of our brand. And there's actually numerous times in Scripture where they do stone altars or stack stones or just bring stones, and they're all remembering the faithfulness and the goodness of God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the whole purpose of it. And so I love the fact that this brand, it sort of has a little bit of a, like, to the outside world, it's got this almost a secular feel to it of, the hiking trails, you need a guide and somebody to guide you along. But then it's got this deep spiritual meaning of it too, that's more when we look at it, that's the way we see it. So I just think it was an absolute perfect and beautiful picture. And of course, what they did, they actually had this picture of a stone,
Of real
real
stones.
stones, but then they took it and made this abstract kind of an
That's
image to just obviously make it look very modern and very neat. And so we've
And
taken.
it's such a great conversation starter because
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
what is that?
Yeah,
It's
but
not
it's funny because
obvious.
we haven't shown it to very many people. But the first person that we showed it to, the first thing they said was, "Ooh, Ebenezer stones." And so you may recognize that term or have heard that term. And so, yeah, we're real excited about that. Now, part of the reason for the rebrand is because our podcast has always been called The Redeemed Marriage. And that's kind of what got popular, is that people were listening to our podcast. And so it's sort of other things started happening. But way before we started the podcast, like really not long after we really healed from our marriage crisis, the infidelity that we went through way back, well, now it's been 12 years ago. So I guess it was 10 or so years ago. We were encouraged to start sharing our message and giving hope. And so we created the Three Strands Marriage Ministry. So a lot of you follow us on social media, and that's what you follow is the Three Strands Marriage Ministry. And that, of course, comes from Ecclesiastes 4:12. A cord of three strands is not easily broken. And again, beautiful picture. But we just kind of realized that, a lot of people don't know what that means. And so,
Especially non-believers.
right. And there's lots of people that are coming to us as seekers too. Not just seekers to heal marriage, but even the spiritual side of things. And so, we didn't want that to be some kind of weird, confusing thing to people. And just the fact that we had kind of two different names, you know. And so now here are the things that you're going to start seeing changed is, first of all, everything is now rebranded as The Redeemed Marriage. So, we had kind of started that process where, the domain name as far as a website, theredeemedmarriage.com, that is ours, and we had already taken that. We had Three Strands Marriage Ministry. And so now, or Three Strands Marriage, I think was what it was. But anyway, now all of that's going to shift. All of our social media is changing to The Redeemed Marriage. And so that's what you're going to see from now on. So we don't want you to freak out when you start seeing those changes.
But our faces will still be there. so that you can go, okay, wait, I know those people.
Yes. But that's going to change too as far as the look because we got brand new pictures.
Yeah.
And so we've got new photos to be able to be able to
coming
no,
back.
I'm good. To be able to kind of freshen everything up, make things up to date. But now what we wanted to do was just kind of tell you quickly some things that you can be expecting with this rebrand. Like, we've already explained it's not just about a logo, but that's a big part, just the new look. But the name change, everything's going to be streamlined into the Redeemed Marriage. So all of the places that you can find us on social media, which we are really involved in Facebook and Instagram. So we'd love for you to follow us there. We have a Twitter account, and I think that some things kind of automatically go there. It's not even Twitter
I was
anymore. The
fixing
thing's
to
called
say
X. See, they rebranded too. People didn't like their rebrand, I don't think, but you're going to love ours. But then also YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, and actually we already changed some of that. So we were kind of playing around, changing some things. And then, of course, our podcast. We're going to have, we've got this new logo, this new look with that. And so everything's got this fresh new look and this logo. Our email list, if you're not already on our email list, make sure you go to theredeemedmarriage.com and sign up for our email list. We actually have given a sneak peek to those people that are on the email list kind of before everything started rolling out. And so, even the look of that is going to be a nice change. But like those are the things you're going to see. And with the social media, you're going to kind of just see a lot of really professional, not everything, because we're going to continue just posting, things as we want to and pictures and stuff like that. But we have lots of good templates.
Yeah.
That this brand created for us. That's really cool. So it just kind of makes everything look good and modern and fresh. And so we're excited to just continue to use that for a long, long time. And then we got things that are coming down the pipe. And so it's not like just all of a sudden we're rolling everything out. So here are the big things that we want you to be on the lookout for. First of all, our website right now, theredeemedmarriage.com, it's strictly a website for our podcast. That's going to all be shifting over to a for real website.
For real. In other words, professional.
A professional. And we have a professional that is actually doing that for us. And so that process has already started.
He's doing a great job. It's looking good.
Yeah, we're a couple of weeks into it, and maybe in a couple of more weeks we'll have something out there. But that's going to be a big thing that we roll out, and we'll start making those announcements soon. The other thing is new merchandise. So Heather worked hard on this one. Yeah,
so excited about it. It's got some good looking stuff.
Yeah, and this is cool because it'll be a store that you'll be able to go to, and you can order directly from the store.
We also are going to be able to, we will get merchandise from there and be able to do giveaways. So that's what I'm excited about. It's not like, oh, please go, spend money and buy stuff. I mean, we would love for you to, and we would love for you to promote and all of that, but that's not like a money maker for us. It's just to get the brand out there and people knowing about it. So we'll use that for giveaways as well.
Yeah, and the store will be cool because, it's never going to run out of sizes. You
That's
can
right.
order whatever you want. They ship it straight from there.
I'm so excited about the hats.
Yeah,
They're so cute.
Hats, sweatshirts, T-shirts,
Tumbler.
It's gonna be good. The first real big resource that we're gonna be rolling out, and we might actually do an entire episode on this or something around this, explaining a lot more. So I'm not gonna go into a lot of time, but we're really, for the first time, promoting our marriage coaching. And we've been doing this for a little while now, but just an opportunity for us to meet with couples, mostly through Zoom calls, because these are people literally from all over the world. And so we want you to just be on the lookout, because we're gonna start sending that out to our email list and also promoting it more, just so you'll know what that is. And there's going to be some specials that are kind of being run through the end of the year, and just keep an eye out for that. I'll say 2 or 3 more things that are maybe a little bit further out, but, again, it's just giving us an opportunity to start doing more and more. One is, and again, you hate to make promises because you just don't know what's going to happen. But one thing is that we want to get a little more involved with video, and producing some different videos. Whether it's short form or long form, but just stuff that goes on YouTube. We know that's a huge platform, and we want to be sure to take advantage of that. Also, retreats. This is a big one. We already have in the works a couple of different locations across the country where people will be able to come and spend some time with us in a small group setting of, potentially 3 to 4 couples, and also maybe even some opportunities for just one-on-one, just us and another couple. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be really exciting when we finally get those plans laid out and kind of hear who's interested in that. And then, one of the things that we want to do is just to be able to start producing more regular resources and content. I know one thing that we tried close to a year ago was it was called Just a Cup of Coffee. Mm-hmm. And we just allowed people to get on a Zoom call with us for free all over the country, and we just had a time of fellowship with them and sharing some sort of a marriage tip, advice. And so, things like that we want to start bringing back and doing more regularly. But you got to keep up with us. So you got to follow us. You got to follow us on all the different places that you can follow us, just so you can keep up with everything that's happening.
Yeah.
All right. Whew. Did I cover it?
I
Did we
think
cover
so.
it all?
I was just sitting here listening to you and watching you and how excited you are about all this, because it's just such a passion of ours. And we just hope that you guys see, no matter where you are in your marriage, and no matter where you are along the process, in the 3 areas that Rusty's already talked about. If you're in a healthy marriage and we can just encourage you, or if there's brokenness and you need restoration or healing, we want you to see hope. And the hope is not in what we're doing. The hope is not in the brand. The hope is not in the logo. The hope is not in the retreats or the merchandise or the one-on-one coaching. Our hope is in Jesus. And if you just see our story, you've missed it. We want you to be able to see Jesus and to have a real hope in him, and have a real hope for your marriage. And that's why we're doing all of this. All of the things that he just went through. As excited as we are about that, and as exciting as the times ahead look for the Redeemed Marriage Ministry, we desperately want you to see Jesus and have hope in him.
Good word to end on. Hey, thank you guys for being listeners and followers. One thing we would encourage you to do, if you don't already follow our podcast, be sure to do that. Also, ratings and reviews mean a lot. And also, when you guys share our information, share our message, share our podcast, share our social media posts, tell your friends to follow us and things like that, it just helps the brand to grow, and it just helps us to be able to give more hope to more people. So all of those things that you can do to spread the word, we would love for you to be a part of that. So thank you guys so much. We love our listeners and look forward to being with you again next week. Have a great week.